Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Today we are looking at Ilmango's mob farm. Now, the nice thing about this farm was built in survival, and the farm itself only allows the spawning of skeletons and creepers, because skeletons and creepers actually are the shortest of all mobs when it comes to their spawning area. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the build real quick, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So as you can see, it's got a very, very wide, tall footprint on the top, as well as the bottom. And you can see how much glass is in here. So it took us roughly about a week to do the entire build for the server. And I made a couple of changes to the collection system. For instance, down here we have hoppers with carpet instead of his collection system. I found that hoppers were a better choice, simply because of the amount of resources that it cost to use more pistons, and pistons were particularly expensive in the cobble, and we don't have a lot of cobble on our server floating around at the time, and we had a ton of iron, so we just felt like it was easier to build it this way. You can see the light levels here are nice and low everywhere around the farm. 3, 2, 4, 1, 0, and so on and so forth, to make sure that the farm is active. The amount of glass that the build took pretty much had us in the desert every single day of that week, consistently and constantly getting sand and then bringing sand back and then smelting sand and then rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It was actually annoying. So you can see I have this little stone ladder here, which I have been using to attempt to AFK different elevations, because as beautiful as this design is, as elegant as it seems to be, I cannot seem to get it to function correctly. I can't get any decent amount of drops out of it. When I'm in the AFK areas, I get some drops the closer and lower down that I get. For instance, AFKing there got me some amount of drops, whereas AFKing here or here actually got me nothing, which, by the way, that point right there is, in fact, 24 blocks from the spawn pad. So from this elevation here to that elevation up there is exactly 24 blocks. Actually, excuse me, I believe it's 25. Whatever. 25. So we notice that when we're moving around on the server, we have a lot of drops. If I'm standing here, for instance, I believe 197 was good, to roughly around 198. I could sit here consistently and get drops, but not a good amount of drops, just kind of trickling in. And this is a farm that's supposed to produce 150k an hour. Now, I don't know why it's not producing, and that's really my problem with the design, is that the design looks functional and should be fine, but something about it, something about these doors is stifling the actual spawning of the mobs. If, for instance, I was just to go out here and build a platform, which we did earlier for testing just to make sure, if we were to build a platform, just a regular platform, the platform would immediately be filled with mobs, as long as the light level was appropriate. Almost instantly. So something about this is preventing the mobs from spawning correctly. Because we did actually build a platform actually up here earlier while we were building it, and then quickly realized our mistake when we were inundated with mobs. Also, we should talk about the elevation differences. So from ground level, there is 128 blocks from ground level to here. I actually believe I went slightly higher than that. So our bottom level is... Actually, I'm sorry, let me correct that again. It's 128 blocks plus a couple of blocks to this point. the collection area is actually below that point. Okay, so I made sure that we were above 128 blocks. I probably went about 140 because I like to round things off. So we'll just say that that's 140 blocks here from ground. So this should prevent any additional mobs in the world from being loaded when I'm the only person on the server. So it should just be just this farm loaded, and with just me on the server and just the farm loaded, sitting at various different elevations to the farm, centralized in the center of the farm, it doesn't function. It just maybe one drop a minute, maybe two. So ilmango, thumbs up for the attempt. And if anybody knows why it's not working, I would love to know, because man, is it giving me trouble. And by the way, it's not because the half slab's above us. We already checked that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.